Good morning, Glennon.
Morning,
So
Kristen.
good to see you.
You too. You too.
I
How are
love,
you over there?
I'm good. I'm good. Yeah, I'm waking up.
Uh-huh.
I'm off
Oh yeah, what time
caffeine.
is it there? It's earlier. It's noon here.
It's 9. It's not, it's like quarantine time now, though. Like,
Like,
has your bedtime completely shifted? Like, I go to bed so late now.
oh, I'm the opposite. I go to bed even earlier than usual.
Um,
And when the kids aren't here, so the kids are here half time.
yeah,
I mean, Abby and I will sometimes get in bed at 7:30
that is so
because
funny.
we don't have anything else to do.
Well, I'm a night owl, so I'm the opposite, and I'm going to bed at like 1, 2, maybe 3. Just, what
What
else is
is,
on Netflix? I don't think I've reached the bottom yet.
what are you watching right now?
We just finished Dead to Me.
Oh, I love it.
Yeah,
Thelma and
it's,
Louise. They're like the new Thelma and Louise. I'm
they
so
are. They are. They are. And this second season just had a real sweet friendship arc and
yeah,
forgiveness arc. I don't want to
yeah.
give too much away, but I enjoyed it. Yeah. So that's what we've been watching too
Love
late
it.
into the
We've
night.
been watching, I got tricked into this freaking basketball.
The Last Dance is that, yeah. I have not watched that one,
I mean,
surprisingly.
it's fine, but
Is
it's
it?
like, it's so much sports for so many hours. There's 60 episodes. I'm like, is this the
Oh
last
my
dance? Is
gosh.
this the last dance?
I may take one for the team, to use a sports metaphor, and watch it with my boys because they'd probably
Oh,
like it, right?
oh, for sure do it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think I will. I've been putting it off, but
Well, why are you putting it off? It's the perfect thing. Like, you can kill 100 hours.
well, because right now I have my kids watching Arrested Development with me,
Oh,
which is a show that I like. So
um,
we're redoing all my old shows with the children now, is what we're
yeah,
doing.
we started Grey's Anatomy at the very beginning. So I figured that could last us if quarantine takes a decade. We could still
That
not be.
show goes on forever.
Yeah.
It's still on, isn't it? It's so crazy. All right, so I'm excited to have you on. I'm excited for us to both read a little from our books. Our books are different, but there's a lot of overlap in theme. And so I'm excited. I was really excited to chat with you because when I read your book a couple months ago, I was like, man, we could have like workshopped, you know,
Listen, I
like our
think
brains are in the same space.
I think it's happening a lot.
I
I
do
mean, a
too.
lot of my friends who
Yes.
have come out with books around the same
Yeah,
time. We're all having the same experience right
we
now as
are.
women in
Yes,
America.
we are.
We're all processing the same trauma.
Yeah,
Yeah,
absolutely.
yeah, yeah.
Okay, so I'm going to read a little piece of a little chapter, and
Yay.
then you're going to read a little piece of a chapter. All right. Okay, this is from Rage Against the Miniman. Let me make sure. Okay. As the kids are getting older, we also have real life dramas. Broken hearts and social issues and challenges in school and therapy appointments. We are far from perfect. And yet I think we are very typical. We're an average, okay, mostly happy family. And my ongoing challenge is learning that this is enough. It's still a constant temptation to compare my life to the highlight reel people post online. Once I was scrolling through Instagram and I saw the photos of a friend on a Hawaiian vacation with her kids. And as I looked at their photos, I had this pang of jealousy. I was thinking, wow, they really go on a lot of trips. I wish I was able to do that. I want to be a family that travels more. They look like they're having so much fun. Then I realized that I was looking at my phone at an Airbnb in Palm Springs where I was staying with my kids for a week. I was jealous of someone else's family vacation while I was on my own awesome vacation.
Oh, God.
This is how absurd social media FOMO can be. The truth is that contentment is an inside job. So is authenticity. Our validation doesn't come from magazines, blogs, Facebook feeds, or even your best friends. It doesn't come from looking like you have it all together online. It's easy to spend our time trying to manufacture the visuals of contentment or longing for the images of happiness that permeate social media. It's harder, but more rewarding to dig into our own lives to do the work of finding gratitude and satisfaction in our private moments. The struggle to be happy and content with yourself is a journey. Over the years, I've worked hard at settling into peace with being a good enough mom, while maintaining some sense of my own identity outside of parenting. And that's what raging against the minivan has come to mean to me. It's the quiet rebellion against obsessing over the optics and outcomes of motherhood. From the kind of car we drive to looking like we have it all together. It's about opting out of the comparison game and giving ourselves permission to fail, to get back up, and to love with our whole hearts again the next day.
So good. So good. Okay, so this chapter is called Ghosts from Untamed. Okay, it starts with a quote that says, I was born a little broken with an extra dose of sensitivity. Some horse shit I wrote about myself in my first memoir. When I was in my 20s, I believed that somewhere there existed a perfect human woman. She woke up beautiful, unbloated, clear-skinned, fluffy-haired, fearless, lucky in love, calm and confident. Her life was easy. She haunted me like a ghost. I tried so hard to be her. In my 30s, I gave that ghost the finger. I quit trying to be the perfect woman and decided to celebrate my imperfection. I claimed a new identity, jacked up human. I announced to anyone who would listen, I'm a hot mess and proud of it. I love this crappy version of humanity that I am. I am broken and beautiful. F you, perfect woman. The problem was that I still believed that there was an ideal human and that I was not her. The problem was that I still believed in ghosts. I had just decided to live in defiance of perfection. Rebellion is as much of a cage as obedience is. They both mean living in reaction to someone else's way instead of forging your own. Freedom is not being for or against an ideal, but creating your own existence from scratch. A few years ago, Oprah Winfrey was interviewing me about my first memoir. She opened the book and read my words back to me. I was born broken. Then she paused, looked up from the page and asked, would you still describe yourself that way, as broken? Her eyes sparkled. I looked at her and said, no, actually, I wouldn't. That's ridiculous. I think this sort of thing is why Jesus only wrote in the sand. Broken means does not function as it was designed to function. A broken human is one who does not function the way humans are designed to function. When I think about my own human experience, what honest people have told me about their human experiences, and the experiences of every historical and contemporary human being I've ever studied, we all seem to function in the exact same way. We hurt people, and we are hurt by people. We feel left out, envious, not good enough, sick and tired. We have unrealized dreams and deep regrets. We are certain that we were meant for more and that we don't even deserve what we have. We feel ecstatic and then numb. We wish our parents had done better by us. We wish we could do better by our children. We betray and we are betrayed. We lie and we are lied to. We say goodbye to animals, to places, to people we cannot live without. We are afraid of dying, also of living. We have fallen in love and out of love, and people have fallen in love and out of love with us. We wonder if what happened to us that night will mean we can never be touched again without fear. We live with rage bubbling. We are sweaty, bloated, gassy, oily. We love our children. We long for children. We do not want children. We are at war with our bodies, our minds, our souls. We are at war with one another. We wish we'd said all those things while they were still here. They're still here, and we're still not saying those things. We know we won't. We don't understand ourselves. We don't understand why we hurt those we love. We want to be forgiven. We cannot forgive. We don't understand God. We believe. We absolutely do not believe. We are lonely. We want to be left alone. We want to belong. We want to be loved. We want to be loved. We want to be loved. If this is our shared human experience, where did we get the idea that there is some other, better, more perfect, unbroken way to be human? Where is the human being who is functioning correctly against whom we are all judging our performances? Who is she? Where is she? And what is her life if it is not these things? I got free the moment I realized that my problem isn't that I'm not a good enough human. My problem is that I'm not a good enough ghost. Since I don't have to be a ghost, I don't have a problem. If you are uncomfortable, in deep pain, angry, yearning, confused, you don't have a problem. You have a life. Being human is not hard because you're doing it wrong. It's hard because you're doing it right. You will never change the fact that being human is hard, so you must change your idea that it was ever supposed to be easy. I will not call myself broken, flawed, or imperfect anymore. I will quit chasing ghosts because the chase left me weary, and because I am a woman who no longer believes in ghosts. Allow me to rewrite my own self-description. I am 44 years old. With all my chin hairs and pain and contradictions, I am flawless, unbroken. There is no other way. I am haunted by nothing.
So good. I love that. There's so much to unpack there. But I love you describing this sort of messy human experience as just an inevitable part of our life, that we will have pain, we will betray, we will feel betrayed, we will compare, these are, not broken aspects of ourself, but human aspects of ourself.
Yeah. I mean, I wrote that essay because it's like this thing that swirls inside me every time somebody describes themselves as imperfect.
Mm-hmm.
Doesn't make any sense to me.
Yeah.
Like, as a words person, I'm obsessed with like labeling things correctly.
Yeah.
And whenever people are talking about, well, I'm not perfect, I'm like, what do you mean? And if you say, what do you mean? They'll say, well, I get really angry. I have a temper. I lose a blah, blah, blah. They will just list things that are human.
Yeah.
They're just human beings.
Yeah.
Right?
Well, and we live in this, we love binaries and false dichotomies. And so we think that we're either perfect or we're imperfect. And maybe we're in a messy middle. Maybe that's where life lives.
Yeah. Or maybe maybe all of those things just are perfect. Yeah. Like maybe because if there's no ideal, if we're saying we're imperfect, then we need something to compare that to. Means not. So what is the thing that we're trying to be that we are not? It's like an elephant standing around going, I'm an imperfect elephant. Like, no, you're just an elephant. Like, right? I wish I were a dog. I wish we are always going to be all of these things. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. And so that is perfect.
Yes.
Perfect is whole.
But it's not, perfect is not a ghost, a Barbie, a
culturally constructed idea. That's what we're saying.
I think that's what we're saying.
We're saying, what I'm saying when I mean I'm imperfect is I don't match some cultural idea.
Yes.
Of what I was told is ideal.
Absolutely.
Right?
Absolutely. And I think pushing back against that cultural idea is where so many women are having a moment of alignment right now, because I think, and especially, we're in our 40s, we're going like, what is this bullshit? Like, wait a minute.
Wait a minute. That's what the 40s should be called. We should all get t-shirts.
Yeah.
Hold up.
What are we doing here?
Exhausting myself doing. Chasing some bullshit idea of what somebody told me to be.
Yeah.
And the hilarious part is, Kristen, when we think about it in terms of parenting.
Yeah.
Whenever you talk to a mother about why she thinks she's imperfect, she will tell you why she's human.
Yeah.
She'll list her human qualities as imperfections.
Yes. Right? Which, wouldn't it be lovely if we could just be human to our kids and teach them that they could just be human? I mean,
because I think about this all the time. Because if we're trying to be these robots, I really do think when you ask a mother what she should be like, she should list an android for you.
Yes. Like, a robot that cleans houses.
right,
Yeah.
and that smiles all the time and that
Yes.
never breaks down and that
Yeah.
never she'll describe to an android. And then the problem is she's not raising androids,
Mm-hmm.
right? Like she's raising actual human people who are going to have that entire experience we just. So if
All the
we raise,
feelings.
and if we raise them without showing them how to embrace all of that, they're going to wake
Yeah.
up one day and realize they're fully human and have no model for it. They're going to think something's wrong with them.
Well, I mean, that's what happened to me.
Yeah, same.
Yeah, absolutely. I don't have a model for being human,
Mm-hmm.
you
Right.
know? I mean, I think so many of us are walking around, we don't know how to do this. We didn't have it modeled for us, right?
Not to teach us. Luckily, they taught us a lot of crap we don't need. Like, for example, Kristen, I don't know how to be human. I never learned how to like grieve or deal with anger, but I do know all three types of ancient Roman columns that I spent 6 months
Ionic, let's see. I
Ionic,
know them too.
Corinthian,
Yes, and there's a D.
Doric. Nailed it.
Such
Don't
good information. Such good information. Well, I could take a Bible at any given moment and find a chapter of the Bible, but I missed all the passages that referred to, maybe not needing to be this perfect. Somehow, why did we get so hung up on Proverbs 31 and misinterpret
Mm,
that so much, right? Like
I know why. I know why. I know why.
the men.
Yeah,
Because the men interpreted it for us?
it's possible. It's possible that's why we're in all this shit, Debbie.
Yeah.
But
But
that's
this,
cool because that's the wait a minute, right? Wait a minute.
yes.
This isn't working for us anymore, right?
Well, because this is a uniquely female, I mean, not to say that men do not struggle with feeling their feelings or trying not to be a version of themselves that is unrealistic. But I think women have a specific brand of it that is really untenable. Yeah.
Well, it's like everything that makes us human is like our dirty secret.
Oh, yeah.
And we want, we desire, we feel,
Hmm.
we can imagine more. We like all of these things that we've been taught mean that we're not grateful enough.
Right. Or maybe we're not
You know, it's
winsome.
fascinating.
Yeah, we're not positive enough, and then we have all of these rules around how we can engage because we should be assertive but not too assertive because then we're bitchy and
Well, and that's the other thing. Like, since there's no woman doing it perfectly,
yes.
you can, we can constantly be told we're to this. And then you say, well, can you just show me then? Like, what am I going for?
Right.
There's no example,
Oh
right? There's nobody
no.
nailing it. So
No.
it's almost like the perfect plan to get us to never speak.
Yes. It is. It is. So, I mean, for those who have not read your book, talk to me about I mean, I think we're touching on the edges here, but what is untamed? What does it mean to be untamed?
Well, I mean, I think that it's just the process of us being born as, wild, individual, unique selves,
Hmm.
and that we have that tension going on all the time inside of us while we are part of a civilization, right? That necessarily has to assimilate us into groups, right? So we've got this constant, we know that from usually from around 8 years old to 12 years old is when little girls especially start to internalize their social programming,
Hmm.
right? So I might feel all this and be all this, but then I learn that I'm a girl, so I have to be quiet and sweet. Then I learn I'm a Doyle, so I have to somehow be quiet and sweet, but also tough and never have feelings. And then I learn that I'm a Christian, so I have to
Oh yeah.
also not think too much and just keep my head down and not ask any questions. But then I'm also American, so I have to be proud and never ask any questions about, like, it's just like being, I'm
Yes.
straight.
Layer
So
after layer.
it's just this constant, we have created groups where it requires people to choose between
Hmm.
their individuality or their belonging,
Mm-hmm.
right? And and I understand, I mean, for our survival, we are pack animals, right?
Yeah.
We learn that we have to assimilate in
Oh
order
yeah.
to have protection.
Hmm.
But I think we're entering a time now where it's really interesting, where in order for us to survive as a species, we're going to have to reverse that instinct,
Yeah.
right? We're going to have to start stepping away, right?
Mm.
We need men who are stepping outside of patriarchy. We need white women who are stepping outside
Mm-hmm.
of white supremacy. We need
Yeah.
Republicans who are stepping away from Democrats, and Democrats. We need people who are aligning with their individual conscience more than
We
ever.
do. We certainly do. Yeah. And I feel like I'm seeing that shift.
Yeah, yeah. I think we will. I think that this quarantine time, so much terrible. I mean, I run Together Rising, so the
Oh,
needs are just
yeah.
unbelievable how
Yeah.
people are suffering. And I also wonder if we're going to come out of this where people are having major wait a minute moments,
They
like
are.
sitting with themselves,
They
watching our
are.
institutions prove themselves to be corrupt, sitting with our relationships, like
Mm-hmm.
all the distractions being gone that we keep ourselves busy from so we're not
Yeah.
healing. I think there's going to be a bit of a rising after this.
I do too. I mean, it's such an interesting time. Right before all of this happened, I was really wrestling with, I feel like we're overscheduled, and I
Mm-hmm.
feel like my kids are like, and I write about this in the book a little bit too. I feel like there's all of this pressure for kids to do, and it's the same pressure that's on adults. It's like, get them into the right sports and put them in the clubs that'll get them into this college, and put them in the theater that will get them into the auditions, and everything is sort of like this walk up to make sure they have every best opportunity. But in order to do those things, it's so competitive that you don't have time to be. And I felt like we were not, my family life wasn't having time to just learn how to live, like learn how to
Mm-hmm.
be people that at the end of the day can sit with other people and talk and communicate, and you know what I mean? And I
Yes.
struggle with those things too. I'm an Enneagram 3. I like to fill my schedule. I like to be busy and productive. And look at me. I'm a
Mm-hmm.
good person because I'm doing things. And I was feeling like I was almost modeling that culture in my family. And I was like, we need a pause. And then this happened. And I was like, not like this.
Yeah.
No, not like this.
You're saying this is your fault.
Yeah.
You requested this.
I secreted it into the world. You're welcome, everyone.
It's so interesting though. It's like we wonder why we get to age and we cannot untangle our worthiness from our productivity,
Oh,
right?
that is
I
a
mean, that's
lifelong struggle for me. Every day. Still.
and as creative people, like it's just like we feel like we're not worthy of the space we take up if we're
Yeah.
not like making a new idea or it's
Yes.
exhausting to just to live that way. And I think it's cool that you're because of course if we model that for our kids by that concept and then there's that part of ourselves that is like, okay, well, I want to model the like slowing down, but then my kids are going to miss out. Like if I pull us off
Yes.
the hamster wheel,
Yes.
it's such a
It's tough, but I will tell you, I did pull my kids off the hamster wheel because I did decide like I want my kids to know how to rest and end a day peacefully more than I want them to be the very best at sports or the very best at singing or whatever their thing is. Like I I would rather them be okay at things and be good humans than be like prodigies and like a mess, you know? I really
Sure.
feel that.
You are speaking my language. I mean, Abby makes fun of me all the time because she calls my goal for parenting mediocrity. Like
Oh,
that when
yeah.
my kids were in sports, it's a different story now because when an Olympian joins your family, everything gets screwed up.
Yes.
But like I would pull them out if they got too good at things.
Yeah.
Like I wanted them to be good enough not to embarrass themselves in PE, but
Say
like
yes.
not too good to ruin all of my weekends.
Same. I feel the same. When it start anything, whatever it is, I'm like, if this sport or this community theater is ruining our dinners for 2 weeks in a row, I'm out. I'm out.
And then my friends would be like so excited that their kids got like $1,000 scholarship to college or something. And I'm like, but didn't you spend $40,000 on leotards in the last decade?
I
Like,
had that exact talk with
we
my
need a
kids.
Google
I
for being
know.
called.
Totally. I had that exact talk with my kids because they get all like scholarships. I'm going to get football scholarship, basketball scholarship. And I'm like, to what end? So I'm going to pay for all these sports clubs so that you can, go to a state school that doesn't cost that much money and get a scholarship.
It doesn't cost as
Wow.
much as I'm paying now for the
No, not even
gas to get
close.
so downstairs.
Not even close. Not to mention my sanity and their sanity, which that costs a lot. So
Yes.
yeah, we are, back to your point, I do think that this is a moment in time when my family has just learned all new skills, right? Like we've learned to have longer dinners and we've learned to, I don't know, like my kids are sitting and playing guitar with each other. I'm like, what dream world am? Like this is this is actually how I pictured my family. Like we have
And
the
even
time.
so, and we have these moments, but we're so human that we're like,
Oh
God, I
yeah.
can't wait till it's over too. Like we can't ever be happy with what's going on in the
Oh,
moment. I'm I've
totally.
accepted that about myself.
Yes. Yes, yes. Yes. And that in that moment of playing guitar with each other, probably one of them is going to sit on and fart on the other in a minute. In a
Of
minute.
course.
Or
That's why you
hit.
gotta take a picture of things before the fart so that you can put it on social media and make everyone else feel
Look
shit
at
about
us.
their night.
Yeah. Look at us. We're just playing guitar idyllically
What
in
we
my
do
living room. It's
is what we
fine. Look at that filter. Oh, no, but that is the truth. I mean, and isn't that parenting though? It's like you love the moment that you're in, and then at the same time you can't wait to get to the next step because it's driving
do.
you nuts.
And it's not even for me, it's like even the good moments. Like
Oh yeah.
Kristen, we live by the beach. Okay, I can't believe I'm about to tell you this, but I sometimes will be, I'm always reading,
Yeah.
right, on the beach, and my kids are playing in the water. And sometimes people are like looking at us because Abby and all the things.
Yeah.
And I will be like, okay, like how long should I be looking at them? Like pretending to enjoy them. Like what would a good mom, like is it, do I have to do it for 20 seconds or is
Mm,
it like how long do I have to look lovingly at them before I get back
right.
to my book? Like,
Listen,
oh,
I
so
actually I actually wrote a chapter about that very thing because my answer is not at all. I don't need to look at them. You know
okay,
what?
great,
Because
great.
here's the thing. This is my argument, okay? Mothers from the dawn of time have been busy. And we have all these modern conveniences now that make us less busy. We're not churning butter, we're not sewing their clothes, right? We're not foraging for their food. But like mothers, Paleolithic mothers were not sitting around admiring their children. And Ma from Little House on the Prairie was not sitting around like watching cartwheels. They weren't. They had shit to do. And we still have shit to do. It's just different
It's
things.
different things.
Right. But like we're not, mothers are not meant to be passive admirers of their children all day. I just believe that
Oh,
so hard.
I like that so much what you just said.
Yeah, I mean, like we can have moments, but like not everything is a moment. Not everything is a moment. Some moments are just for us to not do precious things,
Yes.
to read books and scroll through Facebook
I'll
in
freaking
front
choose
of
the
our
butter if
children.
I need to. I just don't.
Totally, totally. I would choose the butter. I mean, isn't that really why we do habits? Like, I think I'm going to bake bread so I don't have to watch you try to get that skateboard trick again. Oh, mommy's making bread.
Thing to do. But it's just the brain of a mother. It's like then you can't even do that. Your head's like you should really be like the shoulding, the mother
The
shoulding.
shoulding. I
It's
know.
wild.
It is. It is. And
Yeah.
I think it's a constant, um, I don't think, I don't know, and maybe someone has, but I don't know if we can get past the shoulding. Like, I think it's just going to be a daily fight. Like, it's like
Yeah.
a daily, like, I meet the should and I say, hello, you're going to go over here. You're not welcome. But it's going to show up every day, right? It's going to like
Yeah.
be like, hey, you're not good enough. And then I'm going to be like, oh, you again.
You know what helps me sometimes is that I think, okay, when this is all over, I mean, Chase is going to college in 1 year. Okay, he just got born.
I don't know how that happened.
He just got born and he's going to college next year. But I think about, okay, when I look back on all of this, I don't think I'm going to do the whole like should thing. I don't think I'm going to be sitting there going, I wish you would have, Glennon. I wish you should have. I
No.
think I'm just going to be thinking, I wish you just enjoyed it.
Exactly. That's the
Which,
thing.
and for me, enjoying it more does not always mean staring at them lovingly. It means reading a book in their general vicinity
Yes.
and enjoying their happenings. It means snuggling up on the couch and not caring if we've watched three Grey's Anatomies in a row.
You know what? That's called parallel play, and that's psychology.
Oh, I love it when science agrees with my hunches.
We can be doing things we all like in the same vicinity, and that's bonding.
Kristen, I really believe in parallel play parenting.
Yes. Now you have a name for it.
I really do. PPP.
This is why I got a psych degree so I could justify
Yeah.
the things that feel comfortable for myself.
Thank you. Well, you know I'm going to be on the road now being like, my psychologist friend, but I'm not just going to say
Yeah.
this psychologist that I know.
Okay.
It doesn't even seem like it's a friend thing.
Yeah, no, like a professional told me.
Right.
But you
Right.
don't have to say that it was in conversation with a friend.
Right. A professional.
You can act like it was in session.
I love it. Yeah, I just want women to enjoy more.
Yes, we do. We need to enjoy more.
Enjoy
Yeah.
more. All of it, you know?
Mm-hmm.
Letting
Mm-hmm.
go, letting go of all of as many of those shoulds as humanly possible.
Yes, I think that that is a good plan. All right, before we end, I asked this question. What two things are saving your life right now, are bringing you self-care, joy right now? This could be a book, a TV show, a candle, a face
Mhm.
product, a mask. What are two things that are making you feel good right now?
Okay, so I mean, the true answer would be Abby. She's pathologically optimistic.
What's
Um,
that like?
well, it's a little annoying
Yeah,
sometimes. I'm not that way. Yeah.
no. I'm morose as a baseline.
Right. So, right. I'm generally expecting things to go to shit. So, like, and that's a way of life, but it's also just like clinical anxiety.
Sure.
So to have someone who's certain all the time that things are going to be okay is so wild. And
Yeah.
then things keep being, at which point I just feel like it's a coincidence. Like she's not
Mhm.
right.
Like
It's a coincidence.
we're just running out the clock until something catastrophic happens.
So her unbelievable optimism and calm is a beautiful thing for me right now.
Yeah.
Also, Kristen, one of the things that my family can't believe is that I am generally, as I just mentioned, an anxious person. For some reason, when all of this hit, I became the calmest one in the room.
Isn't that interesting?
I think I've thought about it nonstop.
Yeah.
Like, what is this? I think it's because I've been Chicken Little my whole life.
Totally. Totally.
I've been
And
like,
now you're like, we got this. I've been
yeah,
preparing for this my whole life.
I'm afraid I was born for this.
Totally.
Right? And it's
A
like,
shit show. Here I am.
yes, this is my superwoman moment.
It's
And
true.
it's like I've been on level 10 my whole life.
Yes.
And everyone else has been on level 2.
Mm-hmm.
And now everyone is on level 9. And I'm like, oh my God, thank you for joining me.
I cannot tell you how much I'm cry laughing because of how much I relate to that.
Really?
Yes. Yes.
It makes me feel like I have use. Like I was an early adopter.
Totally.
Right?
It's like, put me in, coach.
Really?
I'm ready.
It's a real thing. It's why I started doing all those morning meetings. Like I
Yeah.
feel like, oh, I have something to offer here because I am
Mhm.
a person who has had to learn how to live
Yes.
and even be productive and even be somewhat presentable to the human race while
Hmm.
being afraid.
Yes. I get that so much.
I can offer some strategy.
Yes. Totally. Oh, you feel like the sky is falling? Welcome to my baseline.
How you like me now? All those therapists who told me to relax.
Totally. I knew it. I didn't know
So
the details, but I knew it.
right, right. So Abby and my general attitude of "I told you so." That's what's
Yes.
saving my
The
life.
gloating is what I hear you saying. I mean, gloat, you really can't underestimate the power of a good gloat. You
No,
really can't.
it'll last me another decade, Kristen.
Yeah, totally.
I'm high on it.
Totally. Remember the time that the whole world fell apart and I knew it would in some way or another?
Remember, Mom, how you've been telling me I've been overreacting for 40 years? Maybe everybody else was underreacting.
Oh, goodness. Friend, you are too funny. Okay, your book is Untamed. It is available everywhere. Books are sold.
And when is your book coming out? What's the actual date?
The actual date is June 9th, so we're right around the corner. I know. My little baby coming out into the world.
I know. I'm excited. Good, good. I can't wait.
Thank you. All right, well, thanks so much for talking with us
Thanks,
today, Glennon.
Kristen.
See you
Love you.
soon.